All right, hello everyone. Sorry about what happened on the live stream. Apparently, either the servers are down with YouTube or my ISP is still being evil from being maintenance mode. Things happen, but we had the backup plan as we always have. If we ever have these kind of tech issues, we were going to just straight record, edit, and pop up Mayor's Desk for fun. Now, as you see, yes, everything's rearranged, and that's on purpose. New overlay, new setup, new format. And for example, when it comes to questions, we're only taking questions now whenever we do the post. Every single post is going to be a theme. You give us questions there. We pick the ones we want to answer, and, well, we answer it. Simple as that. Ain't that right, James?
I think it's much better. And once I thought about what if somebody wanted to like find the answer to a question, having it in categories, that's just going to be better.
Mm-hmm. A little bit smoother.
Hey, I think that was answered in January last year. You know, nobody's gonna find it.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's a loud car horn.
Oh, don't worry. If something's breaking on your end now, perfect. So this is going to be mostly unedited, just like we were doing a live stream and everything like that. But we are doing this pretty much with the exact same format as we always have. First off, I know I said there was going to be something at this live stream to talk about, something releasing. Unfortunately, due to a small delay, it may not release until much later today or Monday. And that is actually Demiplane's Danger Gal dossier release. They finally have it ready. It is coming out either today or Monday. Hoping today. If it comes out today, you'll know. And hopefully by the time we got this video out, it'll be out. But it's coming out as well as its supplement, Danger Gal Dossier Plus. So that's hitting. In terms of other releases, we've actually had a couple of things. For one, the Shadow Scar holiday special, the Secret Agent Santa, with the full-on, I call it the gift path. But it's literally just an excuse to do some holiday antics in it. That came out. And after that, what was that other fun one we put out? That was almost as if I knew we were putting out, and why I themed this to be Nomads and Vehicles. Was it?
It's 12 Days of Vehiclemas.
12 Days of Vehiclemas.
Cyberpunk Red.
Someone
free DLC. You can get them on their website. We don't charge any money for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you should read it because we're going to talk about it right now.
Yep. The links are going to be down in the doobly-doo. Yes. Hey, Matt Colville, how you doing? But I wanted to point this out to someone on Reddit. They just shared some gold. They said we missed the chance of calling it 12 Days of Whipmas. And I'm like, yeah, that was cool. I would have done that, but we didn't think about that in time.
Having that one saved for melee weapons.
Oh boy, we can't talk about April Fools yet. What's next? You're gonna have me talking about Interface Red Volume 5?
Interface Red Volume 5 is coming soon. I'm working on it. It's close at hand.
I will share that we are working on a way to get it out to you quicker, rather than waiting for the print-on-demand proof. We'll let you know how that's going. We want to get it out to you quickly. It's just right now, let's just say, the amount of stuff in that supplement makes both the full-body conversions and the martial arts supplements look... I don't want to say anything other than... Oh, God, I can't call them basic. I can't call it casual. I can't call it simple. I can only call it less in-depth. How about that? Does that work? Yeah, you made them all, so I'm trying to make sure I don't insult it.
What I wanted here is I was like, what if I could stretch the idea of what would be considered a article? Honestly, page count-wise, it's like a novella length supplement.
We don't have the exact page count link.
A bunch of other stuff.
Well,
but here's the thing. That doesn't exist. Magazine is not a category. You can either do a tiny 20-page zine or you can do an 100 or 200-page book. You can't do in the middle.
Yeah, like that's the funny part. In terms of scale, like Wildside here, this is about 100 pages, and that counts as a book. But IRV 3 and 4 were both this size too, and I'm worried about how big. I'm worried about how big 5's gonna be, dude. All right.
On demand, it all scales.
It does. It's looking to be awesome. I can't wait to get it out. I can at least let them know the playtesting's done. We're in the final stages. Art's done. Everything's ready. It's just the fine-tuning final bit. So to give y'all hope.
Final bit, layout.
Yeah, we were hoping to get it out before Christmas, but we can't. There's just still there's still stuff need to be done. That's all we have to say. Yeah. We've rambled. But
update wise, I am really excited for the new year, and I think we're gonna have awesome stuff next year. Can't get into it too much here. We are all pretty burned out. It's right before Christmas. I'm excited to get into these questions about vehicles and nomads.
We're gonna get there, but we have to talk about one last thing, sir.
We have a one last thing?
Yeah, your last one thing. Fossilized violence. How did you forget?
I didn't. I just know we were trying to keep the cyberpunk, you know?
I know, but I've already talked about Shadow Scar.
All art is now in for FV. We are in the final stages of layout, and it will.
I'll allow you to
release month, don't we?
I will allow you to say the potential digital release day.
Ooh, don't have that in front of me at the moment, and if I say the wrong one, you have to edit the video.
No, because I know the date by heart. That's February 9th, if I'm correct.
February 9th?
Yep, February 9th.
Release for FV. Am I hearing this correctly? Fossilized Violence is digitally releasing on February 9th.
February 9th.
Unless Rob Barefoot.
Unless I'm dyslexic and thinking it's February 6th. Either way, it's going to be funny, and they know the weekend.
9th. It's the 9th.
I saw that face. I'm not going to do that to you. But yeah, so you can expect it then. We're very excited to get it out and rolling. You're going to start seeing coverage for the book starting in January from me. I might even be paying a visit to Seattle to have some fun with that. We'll see. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting face. That was a surprise for you. I've been busy, sir. I warned you I was up to something.
To Seattle, I'm taking you to my golf club, so...
I'm down. I'm down to go back to the Mercury. That place is off.
Bring your black outfit.
What black outfit? I normally wear this. Either way, we've rambled too much. We need to get into our questions now. Where they get to see...
Outfit, any of your clothes.
Yeah. Well, I have like 2 white shirts. In New York, I'm going to wear like 2 white shirts. Either way, they now get to see... They get to see the new format, the new question format. So we bring up the first one as I get blinded. Oh my goodness. So,
white?
Oh yeah, it's a white. I just flashbanged myself.
Maybe you need to go dark mode.
No, it's gotta look like this. It has to. It must, and it will. But the first question, ready? The first question comes out being, can a driver with a reflex of 8 use their driving skills to dodge projectiles instead of their evasion skill? And would you rule it differently for normal combat, vehicle stationary or moving slowly, and during a chase under hot pursuit rules, vehicle already in motion? So, the first part, I'll let you go with.
First off, you can't dodge that when you're driving a car. You're in the driver's seat. I do not believe that's part of the rules. However, because the only thing that so basically that's the feature of being in a bike or a super bike, is that you can get enhanced interface plug integration that lets you do that. So I kind of wouldn't want to eat the lunch of cool motorcycles and their ability to do that. The car kind of already counts as cover if you have bulletproof windows, so dodging is going to be like less interesting as an option, unless you're like in a convertible, I guess. So your tech can always tech upgrade a car to accept enhanced interface plug integration. You'd have to invent that. We kind of expect players who want to do that to make that invention. That's the workaround in the rules for it. I would not rule rules that are like based on core combat differently. During a chase, not during a chase, vehicle in motion, vehicle not in motion. Those are the types of fiddly bits that get lost on the game table. And I really do recommend keeping a consistent basis. Consistent, in the rules there, because otherwise people are going to be like, well, but why'd you do it that time but not this time? And that's never where you want to be as a GM.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
speaking purity on the narrative side, because if you haven't seen this before, James is literally a senior designer. He's full mechanics. I talk narrative. I would allow them to at least dodge in the seat in the car, but they can't move the car around, and it would cost them potentially crashing next turn. Just because that sounds kind of cool to duck behind the dashboard. But that's it. Like, still, you're using the car as cover at that point, which is the same thing as you said.
Yeah. I think that's that one.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. I mean, nice straightforward one, and it would not feel right if I didn't welcome us back without a bullet dodging question.
Yeah, no, of course.
But the next one...
Also, that's a great tech upgrade.
That's really cool tech upgrade.
Very balanced.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so looking at the 12 Days of Vehiclemas, is there a chance that we might see a maximum metal or maybe conversion guide to bring some of the vehicle upgrades into the present? I would love to be able to take the junker car that comes with the garage and give it some crazy upgrades like a submersible mode or the classic ejection seats from Maximum Metal.
So
correction me if I'm wrong. Don't we already have a submersible upgrade in Vehiclemas?
What I love about this question, the submersible upgrade is on the last page of that DLC. So you already got that one.
Already got that one.
And the injection seats are written into the extra seats thing. You automatically get.
Oh, they are.
When you get extra seats, so you have both. Don't need.
I forgot that was in there. Was it in there?
Have fun. Yes. And.
Yeah, rate these ejector seats. You're right.
When you get the ejector seats, if you put them in a helicopter or something with helicopter blades, you can eject someone into the helicopter blades.
Baloney mist maker. Ooh. Pretty salami.
Don't remember when it was just to like, well, what if I had an ejector seat in a helicopter? And it would be like, okay, here's technically what would happen.
That's terrible.
I don't think there are any helicopters that have that. Maybe we put one in this DLC, actually, now that I think about it. I cannot remember.
You're making me want to check real fast. I don't have it up, but I totally will go pull it open. I'm right now looking up things quick through Demiplane, and we don't have it on Demiplane yet.
Small attack helicopters in this one.
Yeah, I know we do.
No, Militech Autocopter has... Nope, Militech Autocopter does not have that.
Yeah, I always felt that was a smaller one. That's not like...
Helicopter.
Yeah, because that one's a smaller one. It's not like an Apache or something.
I don't think we've put out a helicopter that has seating upgrade, but if we had it, then you can eject people into the blades.
Ideas for later. But yeah, so that should be pretty straightforward. Like you've got those. But when it comes to like a conversion from Maximum Metal, we tend to, unless it's like a 12 days, try to look forward into things we can make new. Like every single thing in Vehiclemas is what it would be after 20 years have passed. Like the upgrades, like the Ambinaut and stuff like that has the things it would have had, as they said, it would have had it back then if it kept going. I think that's how Jay described it. I'm hopefully making sense. But, yeah.
We'd like to make the red version.
Yeah, the red version. Yeah, because the moment people say maximum...
stuff, the thing about converting things is sometimes it can seem easy to do, and then you sit down to do it and you go, yeah, but actually tons of things are different.
Yep.
How do we carry it forward?
It is a new version of the rules.
It's gotta be at the end of the day.
The moment I see Maximum Metal anyway.
Directly go in, but they just need to be like number converted. But we've done a lot of the easy convert. We've put out a lot of free DLCs.
Yeah.
A lot of 2020 has actually already been converted.
All of the 12 days DLCs are pretty much, except for Cutie Miss, that one was just fun. Most of them are conversions of 2020 to 2045. But the moment I see Maximum Metal, I still see it, and I know people are asking for it. APCAs. What? Next question. Yep. This is a... That was perfect. Can two Nomad players combine their upgrades on a single vehicle?
Yeah, totally. I would say as long as they're part of the same family. If they're not part of the same family, those families better be really closely allied. And that's honestly a story thing.
Yeah, that's kind of cool because I know for a fact we never say no to that when it comes to the moto description. If you got two nomads who want to trick out a single vehicle, go wild. That sounds fun. Like I
would say it's not their car by lore. Technically, it's the family. It's a family vehicle. So also, when you're not using your car, when you have multiple cars as a nomad and you aren't using one of them, another member of your family probably has it checked out.
It's like a library.
So when you get your car back and you haven't used it in a while, I don't see GMs going like, yeah, there's a half-eaten cheeseburger under the seat. That Fred's really sloppy.
You grab the steering wheel and you feel the grease. I want to think about that. I had a roommate who did that.
Turn it in.
Ugh.
You gotta stop smoking. Family car.
Why is there an arm stuck in the grill again? You know, it's just like, can't you clean up after yourself? But fun little question.
Supposed to clean up. There's a little bit in the rule. You're supposed to be the one who, if the car gets shot and you had it out, you're supposed to pry the bullets out and whatnot.
It's the little narrative things I feel get lost so much to where GMs can really have some fun with their players. I still like, speaking of this, two nomad players combining their upgrades, I still dream of having a street racer campaign. A few friends of mine, they're involved in the GTRP community and they're deep into the street racing there on like NoPixel. And I'm trying to be like, come on, you already played Red with me before. Let's do some street racing. Come on. I have a plan for that. Instead of it being everybody doing it, we're thinking more like a pit crew in constant radio contact, one spotter with the gun and then the other driving. Think like Death Race. That's the vibe.
Yeah, there are a lot of stories that work better at lower player counts that people don't get to play very often, and I think that's something that my eyes have sort of opened more to. Working, in the industry, it's like, oh, there's a lot of really good stories that just do not work with 4 players.
I had a real fun one that's one-on-one. I won't go into it yet, though. We'll go to the next question, which is, oh my, okay. I'd like a road trip scenario. To do that, I would want vehicle maintenance, fuel, and damage to play a factor. How would you go about those rules? Take it away. This is right in topic of what we had.
So just use the rules in the core book. Fuel is like you look at the type of car, you find an equivalent car in our world, and then you just type in the words fuel mileage. You know what I mean? Like how much miles the gallon does it get? How big is the gas tank? That information is available to you. Vehicle maintenance rules are already in core. How you repair vehicles is in core. There's special rules for those. I'm not going to look and find a page number. You can figure that out. And damage, cars do have damage. That you have all that. Basically, you don't need my permission to be awesome. You can do it. I believe in you.
You can also tap into salvaging your stuff. I think that's the name of the DLC that Jolly put out. The one that's the full scrap and repair rules that's like super in depth. That was a DLC. Yeah. That one there exists too. You can tap into that.
If it's just for a scenario, I would use the core book one. But if you want to make it like a whole campaign, I would look into that DLC for sure. You want to probably look in the weather DLC. That's probably going to be a pretty cool thing for a road trip.
Yeah. Throw some extra curveballs.
And you should, give it's a road trip.
Hot Pursuit.
So, Hot Pursuit is good too. It's a road trip, so look at a map of the U.S., map of wherever you're going. Do points of light, maybe like, hey, you're trying to get over here. Where do you want to go? And let them map their route, and then
make it a hex crawl.
Kind of.
Yeah, there's been
I was gonna do like a points of light fan thing, where you do the different encounters in circles, and then you trace them storyboard throughout it.
Good idea.
You don't set it up beforehand though. You make them, plan their route on the first week, and then you get your circles and you put them on there.
Yeah, kind of goes with the way I like writing. I like writing in reverse, where I make the end goal, the players give me the start because everyone has their life paths. And then I get a rough idea of what I want in between, but it's how they get there that I make sure they hit those points themselves. Gives them more freedom.
So one of the secrets of road trip scenarios is you never do take this to this location, because that's one stage and people are obsessed with the final stage and they'll just book it. You say, I need you to go get something from somewhere and bring it to somewhere else that is not here.
I have a potential.
Second something's two stage, people start thinking, okay, when they start thinking about it in more complex terms, and then they get into the narrative.
I have an idea.
Anyway, go for it.
If you want a very good example of how to pull this off, and it kind of goes against a little bit what you just said, James, but hear me out. Go watch the first season of Twisted Metal. That is literally a guy going from point A to point B to pick something up and then take it back, and all the crap that happens along the way. Whenever I watched the first season of Twisted Metal when it came out, I'm like, this is a Nomad campaign to a T.
That's a very good show.
It's so good. I had to stop myself from cussing. It's so good. Don't do yourself the favor. Watch it. You'll love it. All right, next question.
Yeah.
All right, so will Tell Story release an errata for the Black Chrome vehicles to bring them in line with the new Christmas DLC? Or better yet, for GMs, how would you recommend converting the vehicles to the new rules?
So the vehicles
there are no rules.
Are in the new rules. There are no new. They're already converted.
Yep, they are Black Chrome vehicles. They are made in the image of Black Chrome, including with Nomad access. I'm put this one in here because I knew it would be an easy one, and to let people know if they're all on the same line.
I think Telco might not have Black Chrome yet, and thinks Nomad access just got written.
Yeah, we need to get that reprinted.
But Black Chrome, this all the same rules. Everything's good.
All right, next one. Frequently hear from my players that vehicles cost a lot of money. Oh, okay. I was excited for this question. I've been looking forward to this one. The same could be said for the real world we live in. Yeah. But most people pay for cars or vehicles with loans. Without going into too much detail, this person knows us. How might you handle a character taking out a loan to buy a vehicle, e.g. down payment, term, and interest? I have an answer for this one, but I want to hear your take first.
My take is that getting that type of loan is it's a deal you'd make with an NPC fixer, and they'd want you to do some stuff to help to pay it off, and it could be a jumping off point for a couple of short gigs while you're setting the world in your campaign. Realistically, though, we did put out cheap cars in Black Chrome, and I believe there's cheap cars in there's a cheap bike.
We have the Zondas, which we now have two vehicles that are accessible at character creation.
That's right.
One's a bike and one is a car, and we had, if I remember right, in Black Chrome, it's super cheap, a super cheap suitcase helicopter, like a little gyrocopter. I can't remember the name.
I think that one might be a little bit over character creation budget.
It over character creation, but like within the range. I want to remember the name. This ain't important.
But you'd have to have access, and you'd have to go find a fixer, and that would preclude an adventure anyway.
Yeah.
But you can just straight up start the.
It's way expensive.
Your campaign with a vehicle, even if you aren't a nomad already. And there's like bikes and stuff. People
forget about the bikes and the rickshaws and stuff, I think. That's spinning your wheels. Spinning your wheels. By the way, that little suitcase helicopter was 16,000 eddies. I misremembered the price on that thing.
Yeah, I was like...
yeah, it's up there. That's way up there.
I am unlikely to write a flying vehicle for character creation that you can get if you're not a nomad.
If people don't remember how fun flying characters can be at character creation... I'm going to cite, D&D and Eric Cochra's. That's all I got to say. Yeah. There's a reason why they're banned at tables. So my answer.
They're banned in Adventures League because Adventures League GMs can't.
They can't?
They break. The concept of flight breaks a lot of things in D&D.
So my answer to this, if you just simply want an idea, take the cost of the car. Search up a loan for how much it would be just through like Car Auto Trader or anything like that. And then double the APR, half the terms. That's what you do. It's just simple, straightforward, because I actually got the okay to talk about something that was cut from Night City 2045 with this one. This was something I wrote up in Pacifica. This is something of mine. There were these parking garages that were underground. Sound familiar? I wrote their purpose and what they did as a business model to keep running. Basically, if you didn't pay for your parking, if your light went from green to yellow to red, when it went red, your car was repossessed, repurposed. Anything inside was then put into a shop that was up top, and your car was cycled into quite literally a small lot near Tansen. So if you didn't pay, your car would be sold the next day, tops, just to keep the parking problem down, as they would like to say it. But it was a deal they had with funding the convenience of everyone not having cars on the road blocking parking. So it's in this case, I would say have some fun with this. Make quite literally a repo team, combat cab style, to go get that car if they miss a payment by 1 month. Just have some fun with this. I've always wanted to talk about car loans because everyone thinks they have to pay everything up front with cash. No, you can go into debt. Do you really want to go into debt?
Yeah. Honestly, people forget that you can get loans of any kind in any fantasy setting because it's the last thing that people want to do when they're having a good time is think about taking out a loan.
Yeah, you multiple jobs for your fixer, be in debt to your fixer, and it's about the same as selling out, but on a much more extreme scale.
Right.
All right, next one.
Oh yeah.
This is actually from Charlie, from Imran. Admin of the Discord, frequent volunteer, good friend. What keeps the Nomad role relevant in a city setting? This is why I wanted to do this question. This is actually pretty good. What keeps the role relevant in a city setting where public transit and paid transport services exist outside the freedom to wander wherever is concerned? How do you keep them relevant when you got public transport? And I have an answer, but I want to see what you got to.
So, Charlie set this up, like, how is it relevant other than the idea that you're free to drive anywhere you want, when that is the main benefit of having your own car. Like, that's the reason to have your own car. Other than that, I'm down to thinking things like a place to sleep if you really need it, improvised weapon. I mean,
storage.
Storage.
Yep.
Place to conceal weapons that you can't conceal on your person in the trunk. There's plenty of a place to, put a tied up body in the trunk. Trunk is actually a pretty powerful narrative idea.
Because you don't have bags of holding.
No, yeah, you don't have those.
So
anyway, I would say other than like being able to drive wherever you want, and the fact that public transit doesn't go everywhere, it's good, and there's a lot of public transit in Night City, but it's not like the best way to get around.
Easy to be tracked
It'll
too.
get you there. It also takes longer, but I mean, if you own a car in real life, and somebody else is like, I just take the bus, it's exactly the same, and you live in America, I think you know the answer.
It's not the same.
Right?
It's like, not the same.
The answer, right?
Yeah,
But
oh, go ahead.
What I'm really interested in this question is the idea that you can use public transit and still tell an interesting story. I think that's the reverse reading of the question. What kind of fun narrative story could you tell if the players didn't have a car? And I think you would tell a more like, urban, grounded story, which I'm down for. Usually people find a way to get a car, in what I've heard.
Ready for my take? Nomads aren't only their vehicles. They're the families and clans they live with. They're connections. They can get things pretty much that they would initially get things that go to fixers first, but there may just be ways to do it. It's the community itself of a Nomad clan that really makes it set aside. Like, sure, you have a fixer, you can get whatever you want to, possibly by dubious means. Or you can ask your friend who's a Nomad, hey, your family got reach of this? You never know what you can get. I mean, you got people bringing things up from all over the countries, all other points of the U.S. to Night City. That's being done on the backs of Nomads. It's narrative power, in my opinion. Sure, you got a car. You could get some cool stuff. You also have the expertise to know how to tear things apart, put them back together again. But in the end, it's just the connection and the bond you have with your family. Straight up. That is what, in my opinion, makes Nomad stick out that much, especially in the time of the Red, when Nomads have such a prevalent take in the rebuilding of Night City. They aren't viewed as lepers like they are in 2077. You know, the bad PR campaign against them, all the propaganda mess. No, in 2045, they helped rebuild the city, and that's powerful in and of itself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ready for the next one?
I'm glad you answered the first part of the question because I focused on the public transport car part.
Oh no, it's good. The public transport is fun with it, but it's still like, even with public transport and having a Night City transit card as part of lifestyle, you still are beholden to where that may be, delays, all kinds of mess that could put you behind when you need to be somewhere if the GM really wants to have some fun with you. All right, so next one. Okay, this is from, hello, the new DLC is cool. I like the new bike. Thank you. I'm glad people like that thing. Someone thought it was like a crotch rocket, and we're like, no, it's a scooter. It's a little boy, you know, it's a training bike. So this goes back to dodging again. Question: if someone shoots a rocket at a moving car, the car can't dodge, but are the passengers hit by the blast? If so, could they choose to dodge the blast if they had Reflex 8? And would that put the car out of the blast zone, or that one's wrote weird, or the throw the dodger out of the car? So I think they're asking, can they bail out of the car before the rocket hits the car?
Okay, so getting out of a vehicle isn't an action. It's just movement. Getting into a vehicle is. So when the car gets shot by the rocket, the first thing is that if it has bulletproof glass, it's possible that the blast will not go through the bulletproof glass. Like, it has 2 upgrades of bulletproof glass. You can roll low enough on you can easily roll low enough, actually, on a rocket that it won't go through the bulletproof glass. Bulletproof glass is really good. And if it's armored and has bulletproof glass, then it's even more likely. So let's say it does go through. If it goes through all the bulletproof glass, then it does hit everyone in its radius. If the car is big enough that the explosion radius is not large enough to cover all the car, that's the second thing you got to consider. Can they choose to dodge the blast if they have Ref 8? You can choose to dodge a rocket if you have Ref 8. You do have to go outside the explosion radius to dodge that rocket. You can't spot dodge a rocket. And because movement out of a vehicle is free, yes, that would put you outside the car.
So they can dive and bail.
You can bail out of the car if you have Ref 8.
I can see where the clash happens in the confusion, because if there was bulletproof glass, the bulletproof glass would count as cover. And with the rules that we have for explosions and cover, if a cover's dropped to 0, the explosion carries through. But for just the cool factor, jumping out of a moving car to avoid a rocket is just cool, so why not?
You can do both. That's what I'm saying. You just need to be able to dodge rockets.
Yeah.
Which
just do it.
Yeah, or you need what is it? Wired reflexes?
Reflex coprocessor?
Reflex coprocessor.
Yeah.
You need reflex coprocessor, which you don't need Ref 8 for, by the way.
Yeah, there was something that's on the tip of my tongue that I'm remembering, but I don't want to cite it without looking it up. And I would have to do some deep library searching. I'm not going to do that mid-mayor's desk. But there's something I think we're missing, but it doesn't really play too highly of a part right now. I know it has something to do with motorcycles, but that's it. It's messing with me.
Oh, enhanced interface.
Yeah.
So if you're in a vehicle that has enhanced interface plug integration, which is only available naturally to bikes and jet skis, I believe, then you can dodge for everyone in the car.
Okay, yeah, that's what was messing with me. Like, I remember it, but
it's in there. It's in there.
I didn't want to talk about it in case it was part of a thing that I shouldn't talk about yet, you know? Yeah. All right, ready for the next one?
Oh, yeah.
That was a fun one. That put a cool image in my head. I dig it. All right, next one. What is the state of the Aldecaldos in the time of the Red? More so, where are they living predominantly, and how often are they in this night city proper? You want to take this one?
Sure.
Yeah, so, I know pieces, but
yeah. The Aldecaldos, I know we see them in 77, and they're not doing so hot in 77. They're doing much better in Red in 2045. So they tend to live in like Santo Domingo and Haywood, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Rancho Coronado. Yeah,
those are Rancho Coronado, and those are more like they have a more of the population are nomads there.
They even have their enclave there. The actual enclave. Which, if you want to see where it is in 2077, it's actually near the dam.
So there's always a lot of them in Night City proper. There are also plenty of them that are out driving, being nomads.
Yeah,
as a nation, there are actually a lot of Aldecaldos. And they don't go like as far into South America as like the Jodes do, but they're in the Western United States. More information about this is coming. In
Night City 2045 for sure.
Night City 2045 book.
Yeah, the moment you said the Jodes, I'm like, for reasons I know. Yeah, reasons they'll find out. There is some very good information on Nomads in that one. And I can tell you,
so many. And in case this question is in this direction, there are so many other nomad groups than just the Aldecaldos. And in 45, there are a lot more.
Yeah, Snake Nation, all of them. There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot. It's a lot to pull on.
A lot more going on, nomad-wise.
The Aldecaldos are the most known because of 2077 for fans. All I'm gonna say is, damn, is the Rancho Coronado art pretty? That's all I'm going to say. How about that?
It's real nice.
It's real nice. All right. Next question. This actually fell back pretty nicely with the previous answers we gave about how predominant the nomads were in rebuilding. If anything, this is one of the best times to be a nomad going into the worst, in my opinion. The reality? I'll let the book say that. So we're getting into the bigger questions. I saved the bigger ones and the complex ones towards the end. So what is the intention for maneuvering vehicles in non-chase combat scenarios? For example, would a driver on a motorcycle be required to spend their action performing maneuvers to make turns in a fight, or would it simply use their move like normal when not in a chase scenario? The NPC on the motorcycle in easy modes getting paid gig comes to mind, but the scream sheet doesn't make any mention of any maneuver checks. Can I say one fast thing about it?
Go ahead.
Remember that easy mode is designed to be as slimmed down as possible. So don't take easy mode as an example for how the rules actually play. But go ahead.
Yeah, that.
Oh, sorry.
So easy mode doesn't have robust vehicle combat rules like the core rulebook does. Because it's designed to be like a 20-page booklet we can just hand to anyone, and they can be a Cyberpunk Red player right after they receive that, and that we can put on the internet for free and just. It's meant to be like a tool for getting a new player into it. Maneuvering vehicles in non-chase combat scenarios, you use your move, but remember, your move becomes the move of the vehicle. It becomes the combat move of the vehicle, which is listed in its stats. You don't need to use your action to drive around, unless the way you're driving around, the GM is like, that's not normal driving, that's a maneuver. in which case you do need to use your action. So the norm is not using your action to do a maneuver.
Yeah.
It's just driving at your move. And yes, it means that you can, if you're fighting people that are not in a vehicle, you can probably just leave.
Yeah. Or do circles around them.
Want to. Or do circles around.
Yeah.
Or
John Wick style, that stuff.
Your people to get into a great range to shoot guns and then leave. It's incredibly unfair to be in a car when your opponent is not in a car. And I think that's just reality there.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to be the person that's in moving cover?
They likely have less cover, you know. That's there. I think that's the answer.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's
pretty cut and dry. Yeah.
It all depends if you want to do something very specialized or if you're just riding around and doing a sharp turn. If you do a sharp turn, it's up to your GM to call it and say, like, yeah, it's a maneuver because you're basically doing a 45-degree turn going at full speed. Yeah, you need to roll something.
You don't actually have to use all your move when you're in a vehicle either. Just like you don't have to use all your move when you're on foot. So you don't have to go. I know the move stat is like really high when you're in combat and in a vehicle, but you don't have to use all of it.
Yeah.
And you can get exactly where you want to go most of the time on the battlefield, especially if you're playing like physically with terrain.
Yeah, because
they're generous.
This is GM's call in the end. Like, it even says it for doing maneuvers in the vehicle. I just double-checked it to be sure. The GM decides any driving skill you want to do is a maneuver, and it even lists the examples of swerving or doing a sharp turn or stopping on a dime. So when you do something that's beyond just getting around, expect your GM to call it. Or if you're the GM, go with your gut. If a player does something that, you know, you're like, all right, you're playing around too much, make me a roll. You know, something like that.
So this means, importantly, that if you're the driver, you still have your action to do, you know, whatever you want. That's also important because, you know, we only get one action per turn, and it takes a couple of minutes until it's your turn again. And you should not over punish the driver of a car by making every minor driving a vehicle maneuver requiring their action.
We even stated, if screwing up couldn't cause you to lose control of the vehicle, it shouldn't require a maneuver.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Ready for the next one? We're getting towards the tail end of this one.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Let's see. All right. Oh, yeah. We're down to like the last two or three. I recognize this question. Hi. Certain housing comes with safe storage for your vehicles, like the corporate Conapt offering 2 parking spots. Is there a game mechanic I might have missed for people who live in a container, for example, and have to leave their car unsupervised by... Oops. Sorry about that. Unsupervised by street while sleeping, or is there a plan to add such a risk? Oh, sorry. I'm just having trouble reading through it. Or is there a plan to add such a risk that doesn't force a GM to punish player choice, but instead incentivize players to find a safe spot for themselves? Good question.
So this goes. I'm gonna we'll tell a story.
Go for it. I will not ramble. I promise. I'll let you say this one.
So in earlier editions of Cyberpunk, the idea that you could screw with a vehicle that the players owned was it's a lot. It happened a lot. It happened a lot. It happened so much that people kind of got sick of that idea. So we provide the option for having safe parking for cars as a housing benefit. If you don't have safe parking for your car, well, anything that can happen to you in the real world when you don't have safe parking for your car can happen on the game table. And that kind of sucks. It kind of sucks to live that way. And it's okay to make it suck on the game table as long as you're making it suck interesting. If you're just doing it to fuck with people, you're kind of just being a dick with extra steps. And there's so many ways to do it interestingly that living at those
tiers,
those types of accommodations can be interesting too. Most of the time, you kind of wouldn't have a car unless you could have safe parking for the car. I mean, at least you could store your bike in your apartment. Shit ain't safe, is what I'm saying. It's not safe.
Yeah.
It's not safe. There's no mechanic for like roll a d10 to see if you get robbed, because that would be really boring. And it would be like something else for the GM to think of. Instead, it's like, we're just telling you it's not safe. Anything can happen. Good luck. That's basically what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to suggest.
In a bad neighborhood in real life.
Yeah, all I was going to say is
that doesn't feel safe.
No, it don't.
It doesn't feel. My car has been broken into several times. It does not feel safe.
Yeah, I was going to say, you and I both speak from experience from how many times our cars have been broken into.
It's like, is there a
for the
mechanic?
dumbest
It's like,
things
man,
too.
I wish there was a mechanic when my car got broken into in real life.
Yeah, I mean, you could always roll a D100 and give a percentile, but still, it's, as James says, just boring. Just gauge where they're parking it, decide if you do want to. But if you do it, give it a good reason. Have them catch it. You're going to most likely have your car broken into a lot more if you're in a combat zone than you would somewhere like Pacifica.
Most of the time, people don't stop there. There are neighborhoods where you don't stop your car.
Mm-hmm.
Combat zone is a neighborhood where you don't stop your car.
Yep.
Don't stop your car.
Yep. Alrighty. Don't go into Pine Hills.
Don't do that.
All right, ready for the next one?
Sure. Isn't Gamma
This
moving
is
to Baltimore next year?
I thought it's going back to Reno.
I hope so.
I never got to see Gamma during Reno.
It was fun. It was fun. The food was Reno food.
Look, as long as it's not bland like Orlando food, I don't care. That's theme park food.
It was in a casino. I did my ADHD did not like seeing all those slot machines.
Don't get me started.
I literally look down and walk.
So, last question. 1 second here. I'm trying to not cough. I think I'm getting sick for Christmas. I think that's what's happening. I'm getting sick for Christmas.
You've been a bad boy.
I wore myself out in the lead up. It happens. So this is a big one, a long one. I had to do this in 2 parts, but this is the last question. So this is, I will try to make the question as concise as I can. In the same way, how in D&D you don't put traps if a party doesn't have means to deal with them, aka a rogue, I feel like Cyberpunk Red falls into the same issue where if you don't have a nomad, you don't have chases and enemies escaping. It wouldn't be a fun scenario where the adversary jumps into a car and drives away, and your GM just says, well, you don't have a vehicle, so I guess he gets away. Second half of the question. What would you describe as the main benefits of having a nomad in a group where it's not just a free taxi? We've touched on this earlier. This is a question coming from player perspective. I'm somewhat cautious of picking nomad ranks because then it opens up possibilities of additional scenarios where enemies also have means to escape and failure on my part, potentially, and it brings the others down.
Schrodinger's metagaming.
Yeah. And they also have a question that is asking about stuff about Night City 2045. We don't answer questions about future content. I'm sorry. We still hold to it. Anyway, go for it. We've partially already answered this, but go for it.
I'm glad you put this at the end because this builds on a lot of what we're talking about.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
It's also very refreshing to see a player asking question about gameplay, with this level of nuance.
Yeah, they don't want to let their team down.
I like that. I feel like usually we just get game master questions.
Game master questions and theorists.
There you go. And this person is not a theorist. They're asking about table play, real gameplay. I like this.
Yeah. I had to pick from 45 questions.
I'm not just buttering you up, Abagor, I promise. So in D&D, if your GM doesn't put traps in the dungeons because you don't have a rogue, your GM is not using all of their tools. That's bad.
Yeah.
That is very bad. You should be putting traps in your D&D dungeons even if you don't have a rogue.
10-foot poles exists.
People fall into that trap.
Pun intended.
A lot of GMs don't use traps because they don't like how players interact with the world when they have traps. How the concept of 10-foot polling, they would much rather run a hack and slash game where traps really don't exist.
Yep.
And that's one way to view that kind of game style. But that's a fantasy concept. This is, I mean, if you want to run Cyberpunk Red like it's Serious Sam, you know, like it's Duke Nukem, you can, but realistically, your enemies should be trying to run away when they're at half health. You should be playing the NPCs like they're human beings that don't want to die.
Mm-hmm. That's what the GM should be doing.
That's the difference between Cyberpunk and D&D. The goblin doesn't. Most goblins in D&D fight to the death. That's what we think of, right? In Cyberpunk, they're not goblins. You know, their name is Rick, right? And Rick has a girlfriend that he's seen twice, and Rick wants to go on a third date with that girlfriend and does not want to die, even though he's a member of a gang.
Mm-hmm.
He joined the gang because, you know, they were in his, you know, neighborhood when he was growing up, and they provided protection to that neighborhood, and he attached his masculinity with being a part of that gang. And I don't know. Rick has many reasons for joining that gang.
Yeah. Your enemies are more than combat numbers. Your enemies are more than combat numbers, so your GM should be treating them as such.
But I also recognize that everyone has to come from somewhere. Everyone has to start from somewhere. And D&D was my first game too.
Yeah.
And the mindset change is a big one. But I think it's really fun. In a way, you know, you have players coming from D&D and they have these ideas. Players that come from games like Vampire the Masquerade have totally different ideas.
They really do.
Just like your role play background evolving and moving forward. All right, I want to make sure I answer all parts of this question.
I want to say fast too. Like
wouldn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have a player, like one of my best players. He came from Vampire. He still does some of the craziest stuff in the game, purely social. It's just how he pulls it off. It completely stomps my D&D players. But I do agree. Just because you don't,
Vampire players are funky. They'll like
they're a whole different breed
and be like, "Hey, I noticed you aren't being treated right around here. I just want you to know I don't agree with that. And if you want to talk to anyone, you can give me a call."
Yeah, they're sneaky.
It's like a D&D
they're
player will be
sneaky.
like, why are you trying?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like
I love it. The one thing I do want to say too is, yeah, enemies should be trying to escape. If they have their own car, they're hopping in. That gives you the chance to take aim shots at tires. And God, admit it, you know you just want to run up to a random person's car and jack the car and take off after them. Come on. You want to do lawman? Use that badge, go and commandeer your vehicle, get the out, and then just throw them out of the car.
you'll get yelled at, but you know.
You'll have a fine and a bounty.
So yes. Sometimes the adversary jumping into a car and driving away. So here's the thing: getting into a vehicle is an action. Starting a vehicle that's stopped is an action. That's 2 entire combat rounds. If they get away doing that right in front of you in melee range, you didn't punch them hard enough.
You could jump into the car with them.
You also can jump into the car with them if it's not locked.
What are you talking about? Sit in their lap, hop in that thing and just push, tackle them. I hate to admit how much knowledge I have about breaking into cars and stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of ways to get into a car that's not just through a door. Okay.
You can punch out the glass, so melee attacks, targeting a weak point that can't dodge, aka a car that doesn't have enhanced interface plug integration, because they can get into the car, but they can't get into the car and start the car in the same turn. So for that whole round, you're there with a melee vehicle, a melee weapon.
Technically, that counts. That does count. Damage. I didn't forget to mute. Sorry.
You can just boop the tire and do 2x damage on the vehicle. Probably you can disable the vehicle before they can start it and get away. I think here's the thing, though. You gotta read the rules.
We were doing so good. We were doing so good. Oh, no.
No, because this person is worried that here's the reason I'm saying this is because this person is worried that if they make this choice, then the rules won't support an interesting combat state around cars. And what I'm saying is in order to understand how to use cars in a game, you have to read the surprisingly in-depth vehicle combat rules, which, I'm going to be honest, if I was a new player, I would not read that for my first session. Just because there's limited time in the day.
Yeah.
But the whole combat section it's tuned. It's tuned. Also, if they show up in a car, pull down the window and shoot, you are incredibly disadvantaged in that combat. You probably should run. Drive-bys are brutal.
The one thing I want to say too, you will not be a burden just because you have a thing or don't have a thing. Your GM is not there to give you solutions to your problems. They're there to make solutions for your solutions. If you have something, they are going to try and throw a foil. And to be fair, like as it said, people are going to do what they can to get away. They are going to hop into vehicles if they had them available, with or without you having a Nomad. Don't be afraid to take the Nomad, though, just because they're connected to cars. As we talked about heavily earlier, Nomads are more than their vehicles. They have access to them, but the reason why they have access to those cars is the connection they have to their family, to their nations, to their clans, even their, small groups like the Sightseers. They have more than cars, and they have a flavor that is unlike anything else. Like, you got to remember, if I'm right, Mike's favorite role is Nomad. I do believe so. He loves Nomads.
He does like Nomads. I thought I heard him say Fixer once, though.
That's fair, too. Like, mine is Fixer and Lawman, too. Like, I don't hide my love for Fixer. But I'm pretty sure he has expressed that.
I like medias, personally. That's my answer.
Medias are good.
So, the other thing is that in Cyberpunk Red, the main thrust of what your character does is actually in their skills and not in their roll ability.
Bingo.
So you should be, if you are building, and you can build a character that's terrible at everything except driving a car, but you do not have to. And if you want to play that character, I mean, you kind of did just ask to be terrible at everything except driving a car. But you can be the best at driving a car and still do a bunch of other stuff. You can have a PhD and all. You can
criminology, bureaucracy, acting.
Fully fleshed character that is, in addition to having the Nomad role. You don't even have to pump up your vehicle stuff too much in Nomad. I see a lot of people never planning to actually get a plane and then dumping a bunch of points in character creation into pilot air
vehicle. Yeah.
And it's like, you could use those elsewhere,
Yeah. It's
I can't drive a boat. That's not gonna come to bite you.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's only boats. The campaign. How did I not know?
I think that people still do get caught up in
you can chip.
I think people still get caught up in the class-based versus skill-based systems. Everyone is used to class-based. Cyberpunk is not class-based. It is skill-based. You can quite literally be a solo that is a full-on, fully automatic badass who just destroys everything with big weapons, and then your friend is playing a solo who is focused on melee weapons only and stealth. They may be the same role, but they ain't the same character by far, and they will play entirely different, and that's the beauty of the system. It's the skills that make you. So if you can literally like pick a role and not play anything like that role. You can play a fixer that plays like a solo. You can play a media that works like a med tech, you know?
Yeah, your fixer solo could be the way you use your fixer powers to get access to those incredibly expensive weapons before you're supposed to in your campaign.
Exactly. Like some of the more fun stuff we've seen.
That'll shore up not having combat awareness.
Because it's like even going back to collecting the random. We're spending time on this question for a while, I know, but that's because we got the freedom of a video.
This is a deep question.
This is a good question. I'm happy with this question. Remember collecting the random had a bunch of the multi-roll ideas, but even a lot of them you could do with a single roll. I still get a kick out of the lawman fixer combo, which is the evidence locker key holder. You could still just be that as a fixer and just raid the NCPD's evidence locker for weapons and stuff. It's only limited by you, and limiting yourself to your role, it does a disservice for you as a player. I've been there. You have to think of the skills you want. I always tell any new player I have, write down what kind of character you want before you look at roles. Write down the idea first. And then we figure out what role could get you close to it, but then the skills make it. And that's worked for me time after time.
So you can just buy a car at character creation, I'm pretty sure.
Zonda. Yep.
A Zonda.
So 1,000 eddies. Screw linear frames, get a Zonda. I think it's 1,000.
I think it's around there.
I think it is too.
And you don't even need to take Nomad. I mean, you probably have 1,000 eddies sitting around. You can just buy a car. Taking Nomad is about like
it's the flavor.
It's flavor. It's also access to really nice cars without having to spend your money on the cars. You're just using your resources in a different manner. I think the designated taxi thing comes slightly from video game stuff. Where like healer is a big thing where you're like, I just don't want my whole gameplay to be healing people. And remember earlier when we were like, can you that one other person asked, do you have to use your action every turn to do a maneuver in combat? You don't. You don't.
Nope. And there's even a point where if you get your drive vehicle up past a certain base, you don't even have to make maneuvering checks when just driving normally.
I mean, yeah, that's like the baseline.
That's baseline.
Yeah. If you don't have that, if you don't have 10, you straight up can't drive.
Yeah,
very well.
You're a bad driver. 10 is average. Remember, driver. 10 base is average.
It's also very funny the idea to put NPCs in cars that don't have that base. That are bad drivers. That's also incredibly funny to have NPCs.
It's so stupid because it just made me think about that. People trying to escape and they can't even drive a car and just slam into something.
People actually driving.
Yeah, it's like Florida all over again.
Doesn't use their blinker.
But so
anyway,
we've gone into this one for a good bit. Don't feel like a burden just because you wound up going with Nomad. Don't feel like you're held back from doing it because you don't want to add new scenarios, because your GM should already be, well, could already be putting those in even without a Nomad in the party. And it opens up all kinds of things for you. It's all up to what your GM is wanting to run. It will not come down to if you do or don't do yourself. It's the only time the game would change is if someone in your crew makes a hardened character, in which then the power level of the game goes up and it changes the dynamic of the game. Having a Nomad or a lawman or an exec in your crew does not fundamentally change how your GM should be planning beyond just making sure they have those NPCs on the side or just making sure certain things are lined up. I think I will, though, answer their last question here, because it is about transit, too. They asked, would the upcoming guide to Night City address some of that by showing how easy it would be to navigate if you just had your own car compared to public transport? I'm speaking from experience. I used to have to drive for 2 hours to go 8 miles in a big city. Movement through a big city is always relative due to the problems happening. So there is no true way to define it because every day would be different. I'm not going to say what is or isn't in Night City 2045 for that, but there should never be a set constant time for travel through a big city, especially one as chaotic as Night City, where one day, toxic rubbles in the middle of the road, second day blackouts, third day riot, fourth day cyber psycho, fifth day clear roads, this is wonderful, fifth day blood rain, or whatever day I was counting, I lost track.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's more complicated than just a simple answer on that one. So
yeah, I will say once this book is out, people are going to have a way better idea of getting around, and they'll feel like they're more in a city. Part of the free taxi issue this person is talking about is the idea that the map, you're driving from one story location to another story location, and you feel like your time behind the wheel is not like actually changing the plot. Like, if your idea is we're going to have a story where we just gloss over all the travel, then yes, it feels exactly the same. And it would suck if you spent your whole character being cool with vehicles and then every travel segment is, like
hand waved.
Hand waved. So unfortunately, if your game master is doing that,
smack him.
A nomad, this is not a smack him.
Punch him. Hurt them.
I know I have my hand up.
You're like, you're gonna bow.
That's sorry.
That was perfect.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
It just means that it just means that maybe they're a little newer and they're still learning. And we try to be. If somebody really wants to be a game master, they're gonna have to play. They're gonna have to be a bad game master for a while before they're a good game master.
Yep.
And I don't know. That's too bad. I'm sorry. But it's fucking hard to be a game master.
Nudge your GM to look at the random encounter tables in the back of the core rulebook, and just anytime you travel, flip a coin. If it lands wrong, have them roll on that table. See what happens.
And, if you're showing up to an event, you can say, instead of like, oh, I park far away and safe, park closer.
Mm-hmm.
Idle the car. You know what I mean? Like, put your vehicle in the situation, near the situation, rather than going, I'm going to put it safely and far away because I'm scared of what will happen to it.
Think about how many times in 2077, if you've played 2077, that any kind of random encounter with gangs has their cars present there, like within 5 to 10 feet. Like, they're there. Yeah. Like, they pull up to it because it's free movable cover. But I don't want us to dwell too much longer on this question. You got any last words?
Got it. I think we got it.
I think we got it. Very good question. All right. Last words. So, because I'm losing my voice, I do believe I'm getting sick. Oh, no. This is well timed, but oh, no. It's going to be a long Monday. Thank you all for this. Again, I deeply apologize for the troubles we have at the stream. Sometimes the ISP don't work out. So hopefully you guys who have been sticking around through the premiere live chat have had fun. And I will be in there, of course. They're not going to know this till the end anyway. I'll be in there trying to answer some random questions too, just to make up for it. I don't know if you'll be in there, James. I may nudge Jay to see if he wants to have some fun too. He loves his AMAs.
Yeah, I've got I got something to be at.
Yeah, don't worry. That's why I'm cutting it off now. We're out of time. You can look forward to Interface Red Volume 5 as the next Cyberpunk Red release. We will definitely be trying to get it out as fast as we can after the new year. Looking for a January release on that, but if it goes to February, it goes to February. I hope y'all understand. February is going to be a busy month with fossilized violence and other thing. Can't talk about that. And not to mention the Shadowscar Core Rulebook getting printed. If it's, I'm excited to see how that goes. That's coming along fast. And speaking of folks who are on the Kickstarter, we are aware of the confusion with the shipping. We are on it, and we're waiting to hear back from Kickstarter. So please be patient. We apologize for this small problem. I'm happy this is the only problem we've had. Like, this is it. It's just a minor one, and we're just waiting to hear back from Kickstarter to get things clarified. It's just nice and easy. God, I hope I'm not jinxing that. But either way.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to keep it in. I'm going to keep it in, though. I'm going to regret that as one of the main guys behind it. I'm going to regret that. We hope you all have enjoyed the Shadowscar DLC, Secret Agent Santa, and the 12 Days of Vehiclemas. Both are available on our website, and also Drive-Thru RPG. You can get them in both bundles for 2025. But for that, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Take care, y'all. Don't work too hard.
Take care.
Peace.